Hello, my name is Darnesia Hammond. I'm going to speak with you tonight about why America's recent healthcare reform still needs reform. Please allow me a moment of your time to tell you a little bit about my sister. My sister is pictured here on the left. My 30-year-old sister, Shaquetta Hammond, was diagnosed with diabetes when she was 16. That also happens to be the same age she got her first part-time job, which Social Security and welfare taxes were deducted from continually. She would go on to work several various part-time jobs for about the next decade, while also getting diagnosed with other conditions such as polycystic ovarian syndrome, vertigo, endometriosis, and recurrent underarm abscess that have to be surgically lanced and drained and packed with gauze. Throughout that time, she worked jobs that did not afford health benefits to part-time employees, and she could only ever secure part-time work. She secured a full-time job with health benefits at the age of 24. She worked at that job until she was 25, when the above-mentioned health issues caused her to be terminated. Up to age 24, she was covered on our parents' insurance. After that, she had 1 year of coverage before health complications led. She had 1 year of coverage before health complications led to termination of employment and benefits. Since the termination, my sister has regularly sought work. Unable to land work, my sister has been uninsured from the age 25 until now. During the years when she was not covered by health insurance, she has not been properly cared for. Each year is a struggle for her to try to stay out of emergency rooms. When she has no choice but to receive treatment, I drive her to the hospital and watch as it seems as like they treat others more quickly and also with more concern. I've watched them release her with cautionary words when they have hospitalized someone with insurance for similar issues. The governor of Georgia seems to think that the decade that my sister has worked and paid Social Security and welfare taxes does not qualify her to receive basic preventative maintenance and medical care. The governor has decided that uninsured Georgians who diligently seek work but fail to find it should not be allowed to access basic health care. This is the reason why the reform needs to be reformed. In 2010, the federal legislation was passed to enact the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, also referred to as the Affordable Care Act. According to Title I of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act of 2010, the act was established to do the following. This act puts individual families and small business owners in control of their health care. It reduces premium costs for millions of working families and small businesses by providing hundreds of billions of dollars in tax relief. The largest middle-class tax cut for healthcare in history. It also reduces what families have to pay for healthcare by capping out-of-pocket expenses and requiring preventative care to be fully covered without any out-of-pocket expenses. For Americans with insurance coverage who like what they have, they can keep it. Nothing in this act or anywhere in the bill forces anyone to change the insurance they have, period. Americans without insurance coverage will be able to choose the insurance coverage that works best for them in a new, open, competitive insurance market. The same insurance market that will pool buying power and give Americans new, affordable choices of private insurance plans that have to compete for their business based on cost and quality. Small business owners will not be able to choose insurance coverage through this exchange, but will receive a new tax credit to help offset the cost of covering their employees. It keeps insurance companies from denying insurance coverage because of a person's pre-existing medical conditions, while giving consumers new power to appeal insurance companies' decisions that deny doctor-ordered treatments covered by the insurance. In 2014, it became mandatory for all citizens to be covered by health insurance. This mandate imposes many changes upon citizens and local legislators. In the light of changes imposed by the Americans by the Affordable Care Act, the federal government initiated a program designed to offer financial subsidies to help low-income individuals receive health insurance coverage and health care. Eligibility for health insurance coverage. Many people refer to that program as the Obamacare in layman's terms. The Affordable Care Act essentially mandates that every American is covered under health insurance or forced to pay penalty if not covered. Schoen, Dottie, Robertson, and Collins present information about the beneficial aspects of the Reform Act, remarking on how more than 70% of uninsured Americans would have access to health care insurance. It is also noted that most people will be eligible for subsidies in an attempt for the federal government to facilitate insurance mandates. What is not often described is the fact that according to marketplace eligibility for health insurance coverage, an individual must make approximately $12,000 a year at minimum to receive a financial aid to pay insurance costs. In response to this issue, the federal government allowed for the expansion of Medicaid in order to offer basic health care to citizens who do not and will not meet the income requirements. One might think, great, at least the people with no income will be covered as well. But they're wrong. Everyone who is an adult and makes less than $12,000 a year is eligible for a subsidy, but ineligible for a subsidy, but eligible for Medicaid. But just because the federal government deems you eligible does not mean Medicaid will be granted. According to federalism, which Levin Waldman describes as a separation of power and responsibilities by the federal and state levels of government, Medicaid is regulated by state legislators. Each state's governor could choose whether to expand Medicaid to all no-income inhabitants of the state or not. Some states decide to choose the expansion because it seemed to have the greatest implications for individual health and well-being, which contributed to overall health and well-being of the state. Georgia was not one of the states that decided to expand. Because it seemed to have the greatest implications for individual health and well-being, which contributed to the overall health and well-being of the state. Georgia was not one of the states that decided to expand medical eligibility and coverage to all people without income. This leaves quite a few people in Georgia without the ability to cover essential medical costs, receive preventative treatment, or get the best, most urgent emergency treatment at hospitals. If healthcare insurance has become a federal mandate within America, then the federal government should not mandate that the state expand to protect all no-income inhabitants of the nation. The government should find a way to provide states with the necessary subsidies that they need to expand it all to all ill and uninsured adults with no income. It is hard to to find work and a job when your health and well-being are being poorly maintained? What if it were your sister, your brother, your mother, your father, your grandmother or grandfather, your spouse, your friend, or your child? How would you feel if you watched them slowly suffer and die because a member of GOP has decided that the state is already too dependent on welfare and opted against expanding Medicaid? If this is something that you can't fathom standing for, then I urge you to not stand for it any longer. Write your congressmen and city and state representatives. Tell them how you feel about the situation and about the refusal to expand Medicaid coverage in Georgia. Tell them what you feel as Georgians that you deserve as members of the state and communities that you all pay taxes to keep operational. Put together a petition, a peaceful demonstration, a rally, or a protest, and urge officials to change the gross ethical breach of responsibility that has been imposed on the leaders of the state. And most specifically, Governor Nathan Deal. Help Congress feel the pressure of the need to reform the new health care reform. The federal government needs to understand the needs to aid uncooperative states like Georgia in the direction of treating their inhabitants to its basic rights, freedoms, and dignities that realize the government has mandated for everyone. The federal government has mandated for everyone, but also has failed to ensure its provisions to realize such mandates. Thank you all for your time, and I hope that this message truly has touched your heart.